What happens when Alexis and Julius tried to polish their turd with Q&A? Did Julius choose his plot based on his favourite TV show? And why was everybody fighting at the beach? To answer this and many more important questions, allow me to take us back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. It's time to check your works for spanners as we do a Q&A with Juju-Lex. Juju-Lex, and they take us for a nice relaxing day of kayaks and concussion. In today's show, there's totally no predetermined plot.
Tell me to apply. I applied.
Alex tries to gaslight us.
When did we break up?
Julian is getting involved.
Bitter ass.
And Alex finds some perspective. All this and more right here on the Lawd Lukan channel. Good morrow, adios, and nana shiyoto to you. Big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people, and a folk for Kuna socks to the lords and ladies of the Lukan Manor. Many a person, mon petit pois, might have uttered the phrase, "It'll get better if you leave it alone," or "Don't scratch it, you'll make it worse," or "Stop playing with it, or it'll fall off." After watching Julie and Alex's last video nasty, the trip to the most boring zoo in the world, I thought the same thing. I thought to myself over a buttery crumpet, I'll leave these two alone and hopefully it'll get better. Well, it depends on your definition of better. You could mean the English better, also pronounced better, which means more desirable, satisfactory, or effective, but you may have meant better in Arabic, which means arrogance or extravagance. You might also have meant the Kazakhstanian better, which means explosion. So, if you define better as an arrogant explosion, then you might not be disappointed. Our adventures today start off in the nest of love, the jive hive, the economy colony, the bullshit burrow, Shay Parker. Here it is. Some more of Alex's creativity going on over here. Why the hell would you hang something so small so high? Anyway, the video kicks off with more of Alex looking smug and preening for the camera. I wouldn't be all that smug if I was her. No one out here is jealous of yo man. Is she hoping that we forgot all the crap she took just a month or so ago? Well, let's just remind ourselves of how in love he was.
I'm about to be no delivery boy.
So I didn't support you in prison?
That's why you're in my presence.
That he was so in love that he loved himself right out of the relationship, came back, and then Alex loved him out the door. Then, after a brief spell as a rapper, which I noticed he's shut up about now. But what's quite funny about his other songs released in April this year is that they're brought to you by DistroKid. Ooh, sounds sort of all techie and a bit disco. It's a company who, for just a wee monthly subscription, will post your music on YouTube or TikTok. Wow, posting on YouTube, that thing that's totally free? Nah, I'd much rather pay someone to get considerably lower views than I would have done if I'd have bothered to upload it myself. Fun company. I'm going to make a company in their honour called Breather. And rather than breathing all that free air, you can now make a statement about how stupid you are with money by paying a subscription for breathing. Look at all these poor people and their free air. Not me, I've got Breather. It's not just a status symbol, it sets you apart from those dirty oiks and their low-budget breathing. Breather for boutique breathing. Anyway, as their show kicks off, we get the high-quality intro effects. Oh, bored already? Let's give it a shiny new theme song.
Floats like a dragonfly, raps like whoa Vicky. Alexis gets extra shifts, Julius gets all sticky. Don't worry about bacon, I don't think he eat. Where the kitty go back in the car seat. He'll be there for you till the ratings start to fall. He'll be there for you, probably not.
Beautiful. First, we need to greet the viewers, and again, it's a mix of Alex being all smug and mumsy, and Julie pretending to be a gangster. So then Alex decided to be gangster too, and throws a sign. I guess that's sort of the rock and roll licky vagina-y gang sign. Good job. And what's in store for the couple of the moment? Some hard-hitting questions.
Let's get into it.
That really delve into the psychology of selective perception, cognitive dissonance and denial, a real glimpse into how they rationalize red flags.
Will y'all be back on Love After Lockup again?
Nope. Well, Alex and Julia have created the questions, so we're way more likely to get what's your favourite type of cheese than if he's left you twice, aren't you concerned about the third time? Or, get a job. Of course, it needs to be in the form of a question. Get a job, dickhead. There you go.
Never know, maybe. You might see us in the future, you might not.
Maybe not.
We know you will be. That's such a stupid question. These two are pulling in the most views and engagement after the season's celebrity wannabes. Of course they'll be back. They're doing as the network tells them. Good puppets. And that's probably why he's still here. Fleeting fame and a lack of better opportunities. But not all the questions are softballs. And not all softballs are questions.
What were your feelings watching the show and seeing what Julius was actually doing?
There's a little micro expression on Julie's face when she said what Julie's been up to. See? A smug little thought crossed his naughty little smug mind. But what's Alex's response?
I mean,
She reacts like he wasn't getting up to anything. I mean, what you talking about? What Julie was up to? I've no idea. But let's not forget, he treated her like trash, and she lapped it all up like a little puppy in heat. He showed her so little respect that said virtually nothing to her, but suddenly 2 minutes later he's Father of the Year and playing a family vlogger. And that's fine, is it? He can do that to you and learn nothing but the fact he can get away with it. But I don't think Alex has really dealt with the question herself, like she buried it somewhere deep down in a denial department, because you can see it dawning on her. And you can tell they've not worked through that problem. They've never truly sat down and truthfully discussed the idea. And so Alex has to shut down the question by trivializing it and giving it a headshake.
it was hurtful and embarrassing to watch it play out on TV.
Next question comes from Michelle from the Mensa Club.
The question is, are you guys back together? Why weren't you guys asked to be on Love After Lockup?
Well, that's lowered the bar for stupid questions. Alex tries to remain coy about whether or not they'll be back.
Why weren't you guys asked to be on Love After Lockup? Who says we weren't asked to be on Love After Lockup?
Mostly because she can't contractually discuss it, of course, so she tries to skate around that part and stick to ambiguity, until Genius Julie accidentally says it how it is.
You just ain't on this season.
Yeah.
That's all.
Good job. So, here's another question. Have you subscribed and delighted the like button yet? I do hope so. Thank you.
Somebody said, when is the wedding? You guys are so cute.
Cute? How exactly? A guy who's built like a sapling and a woman with the constitution of a wet paper towel? That's not wedding material. Well, it's hardly parenting material either. But that's not been enough to stop them so far.
I'm going to guess in the future, I'm going to say at the year of 2027.
Wow, you heard it first here, my magnificent cherry pie with a dollop of ice cream. The year 2027. So she thinks you'd be able to keep him around for another 2 years, huh? Yeah, okay, you could try and fool the people, but you can't keep that up for 2 years. That's the thing about some fools. They don't learn, they just rehearse regret. Some fools' apologies are just a rerun with no excuses, and other fools just sell their dignity for a compliment and call it romance. Anyway, next genius, please.
When you having a boy?
She's already got one of those. She was hoping for a man, but I guess they only had string beans in stock. Then Alex sets out the future with her man, and pretty much describes what regular couples do when they don't use a child as an anchor for a doomed relationship.
I want to travel. I want to be engaged. I want to get married. Hit the beach. Have a daiquiri.
It's great that she's got that ambition for herself. Shame she doesn't, mention the child, who I'm sure would love to be fitting into all the travelling and marriage stuff going on. Might even like a bit of that motherhood too. But Juliana even appears to be the figurative car seat of Juju Lex's plans.
I mean, that's not saying I don't want a baby. I do want a baby, for sure.
Yeah, hate to point it out, but you do, have a baby. This is one of those clips that lasts about a second or so, but tell us so much about them. Julie, for example, is comfortable sitting there, trying to look pretty, happy to go on with pretending to want to marry her, but then as soon as she mentions more babies, that smile left a bit sharpish. Life is often like rounds of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When things are going wrong and life isn't being very kind, you get 3 lifelines. You could A, phone a friend and hopefully get some good advice. You could B, ask your social media audience. Or C, meh, I'm 50-50, I'll see how it goes. Alexis, however, took the lesser-known D option. Lock down the man with your uterus, because that never ends badly.
I want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? I just had a baby. I do want to have fun.
Yeah, well, that baby stuff, that was so last month. It's all about her now. She needs to be one of those Netflix shows.
Like, it's other little shows on Netflix.
Other Netflix shows that sound like their relationship include Survival of the Thickest, Schitt's Creek, and Arrested Development.
If they out there watching.
If they're watching, yeah, shut up. Hang on a second. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos just so happens to be watching today. Hey, Ted. Hello. Oh, damn it. My subscription ran out. Meh. I'll just click the not now till it robs my bank account for me. There you go. And he's back. Hi Ted. Hello. Here at Netflix, we pride ourselves on top quality, lowbrow entertainment. So, what have you got in mind, guys?
That I would love to partake in, like The Mole. I would love to be on The Mole. Or shows like that.
For those who don't know, which until 5 minutes ago did include me, The Mole is one of those shows where they have to work out who is the saboteur. Considering she couldn't spot Julius's underhandedness, how the hell is she going to know when she's been taken for a fool? Okay, sure. Okay, well, what about Julie?
And you were saying you wanted to be on 20 versus 1? That's a popular show too.
Oh my goodness, 20 versus 1, a YouTube show where one person gets to see if he wants to date one of 20 women.
Yeah, how are you?
What's your name?
Sheila Sade.
Sheila Sade. That's 2 names?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Julia.
Julia? Okay. Where you from?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
That's the kind of show a dedicated boyfriend and recent father does. Nothing suspicious about that. But hold his concept in your mind for a moment. We'll be coming back to it. It's a no from me. So, let's move on to the next question.
How was life?
Cheese. Stupid fucking question. That's what people send their exes when they fancy a quick one for old time's sake.
When did you and your child's father get back together? We never got them together.
When did we break up?
Well, there was the time he left your ass on TV, and then that other time where he left your ass on TikTok. There, the other time he just told you he wanted to go with the flow and not commit. But, who's ever heard of those times?
Did he ever find a job?
There's plenty of people out here who don't work 9 to 5s that literally get money.
A job. We all like this question. First of all, I love how she had to edit out anything incriminating.
There's plenty of people out here who don't work 9 to 5s that literally get money.
Rubbish. I bet he's back to banging out dime bags to other wannabe Julies. He's sure as hell not bringing in that paper with his rap career off the edge of a cliff. He's probably living off her whilst he indulges himself in his hobby of rappering.
There are lots of ways to get money without having to resort back to the streets or working at 9 to 5.
Yeah. Then comes another fun question where they give away a little bit too much again.
Just gotta open your brain.
The question was, how did you get on TV? Which is, usually just a pedestrian question. It's like when you see the kids getting to meet their heroes, like Katy Perry or whatever, and the best they've got is, how did you get to be a singer? Not, like anything to do with the death of that nun. But the answer is where the fun's at.
I told you to sign up for it.
Yeah, he told me the idea about it. He told me to apply. I applied, and
Just fucking with us.
they called.
The plot? Our plot? The plot he knew prior to telling you? The plot where he was going to have 2 women at once and have to decide which one to keep? That's oddly familiar.
Yeah, I'm staying.
I'll stay.
Okay.
I'ma go. I'm sorry.
Or did he mean a plot where he was leading 2 women on and just living for himself? Got to say though, seeing as he always wanted to be on a show where the rapper gets the choice of ladies, and that happened to be his rough storyline, I imagine the conversation that he had with the producers was quite different to Alex's. He probably said, I'll sell myself for a chance to be on the 20 versus 1 thing show. And they said, yeah, fine, whatever. But he didn't read the small print that said the girls were Ashley and Alexis. Ooh, stitch up. Next question, please.
What is your favorite part about being a mother?
Ooh, my favorite part of being a mommy.
Car seats, Netflix. She's got no idea though, has she? She had to edit out the massive pause when she couldn't think of anything.
I love it all.
She literally has no idea. I'm sure even the most jaded parents can think of one positive thing about parenthood. Like, it means you've never shot a creamer for your coffee. Have you tried baby formula in coffee? It makes it taste a little bit nutty.
I love it all.
She says, still struggling to think of something. Just say anything.
Like, you discover a new strength about yourself.
Which is just a polite way of saying that her daughter tests her patience, but she hasn't lost her shit yet.
I can't imagine my life not being a mom.
You've been a mother for like 5 minutes. So, that's it. One of the best things about being the mother is that you wouldn't want to stop being a mother. Good job. Even though you can't describe one thing that you'd like about being a mother, mothering's great, wisdomy. We then get round to the next question about how they felt about going into the filming.
I definitely got a couple pep talks. They had to pep talk me. Got this.
I would have loved to have seen the unedited version of that. What did they say to her? Were they the same mystery person that booked Imani for the 3 scenes that she shot with them? Interesting.
How have you all dedicated time to healing past traumas?
They haven't. Next.
What's your favorite food?
She likes pasta, he likes nachos, and spent about half an hour boring me to death with it. Next.
Alright, so what positive changes have you noticed in Julian? Julian.
Calvin Julian Parker. I've seen so many people make that mistake. I love it. Half the time I don't even need to get it wrong on purpose.
And positive changes, Julius has always been a good man.
Oh, right there. We've all had a good time. Let's not go down old fantasy lane. He's such a good guy that halfway through filming, he decides to fire up the old Fortnite.
Here you go on this game. Why would you start this game? And we in the middle of this.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it was like totally nothing. A bit like when he told Alex to go get some extra shifts because they needed more money and he was way too busy being a broke rapper. Well, apparently that's not what he meant.
Yeah, he told me go pick up some
See,
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers trying to make it seem like I'm like, go pick up something.
How can we all have sort of collectively misinterpreted the words, well, you better get some extra shifts then? Well, according to the Ohio Mensa crew, that was just said in anger, and so therefore, it's all fine and never really happened.
Regardless.
He was speaking out of anger.
Saying whatever.
Because clearly I'm not going over paying him no extra shifts.
I do think she's gonna miss the point there, though, hasn't she? It wasn't whether or not she would do the extra shifts, it's that her man shouldn't have asked his pregnant girlfriend to do so in the first place. It wasn't about shifts, it was about the respect. Both seem to have been non-existent.
We had a petty fight. That's all it was.
I'd say a petty fight is where you argue over directions. Or, getting coffee and the sugar thing again. Or ordering a barbecue base on the pizza when everyone knows that tomato is superior. God, to me, forcing a pregnant woman to do more work is more of a relationship felony. They then talk about the scene where Julian comes clean about talking to Ashley. And this is Alex's take.
They showed us playing Connect 4. Why didn't y'all show the good part of the date?
So her issue was that they showed them playing Connect 4 and like, not what exactly?
That was lit. Why not show that? They didn't want to show that. That's too good to show. You know what I'm saying?
Has she raised this from her mind? He weren't just playing a game, he was admitting to playing her. But for some reason, she thinks they should have covered them doing some sort of smashing thing instead. Is she so far in denial that she's removed that part from her memory? Nothing to see here, just a game of Connect 4.
That's too good to show. You know what I'm saying?
Too good to show. Yeah, all TVs are like that. If one scene's a bit too good, they just sort of cut that shit out, or everything will look more crap by comparison. As far as I'm concerned, we did see the good part. Him getting busted. So they end the podcast there, in the most cringe way that I've ever seen committed to video.
Thanks for watching out.
You'd at least reshoot that, wouldn't you, really? And then they close with this. Which is more than could be said for his raps. Next we're off for a day at the beach. How delightful.
Wherever this lands, that's where we're going.
Okay. Ohio!
Ohio!
Go. There they go. Oh, shit.
They do actually go to the beach and do some kayaking. Meh, not so interested in that. Alex does her impression of a manatee. But what is interesting is how many beachgoers pack a spare pair of fisticuffs. It starts off very gentle. They park up and take a shuttle that looks suspiciously like a banged up old school bus. And it all kind of started to go downhill when Karen here had a few too many sherbets. And her friend starts to do a little dance. Then another woman rocks up, wants to show everyone the ore she got for her birthday.
Oh, she ain't having it.
And because they needed a better view, again, definition is up to you, Alex and Julie decide to stroll over and not say anything incendiary.
Beat her ass.
Yeah, good job. But as the fight starts to subside and the gladiators leave the arena, not sure if she looks like that because of the fight or, she sort of arrived like it, but one of the Cincinnatians takes offense to Alex saying it was funny.
Who's funny?
Who the fuck?
Who's funny?
It's funny.
It's all funny. Listen.
Oh, is it going to be time for round 2? No, she sort of just walks off. Damn it. But not to be outdone by the girlies. Some random guys have a go at each other too. But it's not all huffing and a puffing, They get mobbed by a bunch of marauding fan.
Bro, are you that dude on that show? No way! Yeah!
Not really fans though, is it? If they call you some guy from some show, yeah. You can tell a lot by a person by their definitions of success.
Kayaking trip was a success.
Success. Such a success.
Oh yes, if success consists of fistfights and getting drenched by a mini monsoon, then yes, congratulations. All right then, that is all I have time for today. Thank you so much for being here at the Manor with me. It's always a pleasure to have you over for tea and a casual piss take. If you like what I do, then do please like, subscribe, and try one of these little beauties. So until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my three, and you take care of yourself.